No more, no less.
It's tricky because I gotta go to work in the morning, so.
Damn it. Nobody wants to see a 9-hour stream?
I don't think so. All right, it looks like I pressed the button. I think it should be going. So welcome to Netrunner Live, everybody that is here and there. We got the regular bad publicity people kick in here, and also Jason from CorpDraw has dialed in from wonderful Arizona. No Diamondbacks hat on him though.
No Diamondbacks. I'm actually a St. Louis Cardinals fan.
Oh, that's all right. It's all right. So yes, the other people, we have Chase sitting there on the some kind of green recliner.
Hi, I'm Chase, and this is my bed. This is where all the magic happens.
What magic?
That's what you're supposed to say, right? I've done these.
Yeah.
I've seen this show before.
It's a high-quality iPhone camera as well.
Very high.
And we've also got Corpsmore over there. Looks like a radio personality with those cans on.
Oh, I got bigger ones. You want to see?
No.
He has huge cans.
I get it.
So let's dive right in. You guys want to talk about the regionals? Obviously happened over the weekend there in Chicago.
Yeah.
Silhouette took the first place runner spot. Surprised?
I am.
You know, it's criminal. It's a bunch of good criminal cards. Does the face matter that much?
Yeah, but what kind of criminal are they running? Are they running that new resource economy kind of jizzy jazz, or is it the same kind of like burst econ search for your?
It's kind of like go at your throat. You know, he chose to run the central suite out of Honor and Profit, and toss the Fem in there for good measure, and just kind of jammed it down their throat.
Nice.
Yep, and then the one thing that was notable about his deck is that he had the triple quest completed, triple notoriety.
Oh my God! Me and Trent were talking about that deck. That's hilarious.
I mean, I guess it works sometimes, right?
No, but honestly, does it work? Like, is that what he was pulling off, or?
There, I didn't really see too much of like a documented anything on the net except for what he played. So we'll have to definitely find a way to talk to him between the two of us and kind of figure out what kind of shenanigans he's pulling.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know who. Well, I know who won. It was Steven from Team Covenant, but I'm not sure what he was running when he won the first one. I'm assuming an NBN Anarch. Mix, but that's to be determined.
Now, I know he was playing Anarch of some sort. I saw it on the internet somewhere. I think it was Wizard, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard he was running Wizard.
As usual.
So what do you guys have going down there? We just dropped in Honor and Profit. Have you guys dove into that? Are you all criminal Jinteki down there?
That's just how it had to be, right? Everyone had to try the new cards. What's cool is Jinteki finally got away, or more ways to play a game that's not just your typical Jinteki. So even the fanboys of Big Ice and things like that can kind of have their go at the Jinteki magic. And yeah, so you see criminals and Jinteki all around, and it's we're expecting that. We have a big regionals coming up this next weekend too, so we're going to get a lot of information.
I think we're pretty lucky that ours is a little bit. Toronto is in June, mid-June, so we can see kind of what's out there a bit. I would hate to be the new guys going right in. Like, I hate when a tournament is on a Saturday and the release of cards is on a Friday.
Not that it's going to help us, though. That just means that all the other good players are going to destroy us when we get down there, because they're all going to get to see it, too.
Yeah. It looks like I've got the Q&A box open. If anyone is watching this live, you can use Google Q&A to ask your questions here. Joshua says he was running Rena and NBN The World Is Yours, and he won by Scorched, triple Scorched.
Who said that?
Joshua.
But then, that's actually Josh from CorpDraw. But then Barry goes on to say it was noise, not Reyna. So.
Oh.
But then they're answering again. So it's a fight. There's an anarch of some sort in the midst.
Oh, so it was noise.
So they're confirming our suspicions that he played anarch earlier.
And then he also ran The World Is Yours, which he also ran at Worlds still, right?
It was more Jinteki than criminal at last week's weekend tournament in Phoenix. Huh.
Okay. Pretty cool.
I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna take. I probably shouldn't say this live, or on record, but I think I'm gonna stick with MBN as my corporation. I'm not gonna go this hot new Jinteki.
Yeah, because NBN's so down-powered and
No, I'm not saying it's down-powered. I'm just saying I don't think I'm gonna go with the new hotness.
Is that a surprise for you? It sounds like that's par for the course.
Well, yeah. Usually I'm green and yellow, so
yeah.
It's my safe zone.
He shows up to the tournament in a bubble, and he won't let anybody. That's the best thing about Jameson is he won't ever let anybody see his decks before he plays. Like we'll see him every day, but he won't pull it out at all because he's got at least one trick in there that he's been waiting to break out at a tournament. It's awesome.
Hey, Alan Kennedy, there's no confirmation I haven't cursed yet, so give that up. See, I'm a nice enough looking guy, right?
Yeah, no doubt. You could almost be doing a video podcast yourself.
Almost.
I might just be.
This is kind of cool. So what's coming in? Hey, Sly, have you already tried 6 Agenda Medtech yet? So yeah, let's get into that.
So I have tried the 6 Agenda Medtech deck, and I really didn't like it the first time I tried it because it was that full-on like Mushin No Shin trap deck, and that kind of like have more advanceable traps than you do have agendas, and then just try to bluff them out. And my original thought was the game would be faster, but it's so much slower. So then I switched to that one that does the -1 agenda point unless they want to kill themselves, and I loved that until I found out that you're able to data dealer that thing out of play and gain $9 and still beat me with 2 agendas. So then I just rebuilt my replicating perfection deck. So yeah, that was my banter with that. I think I'm gonna try that whole Psionic Cast, Scorched Earth, Nisi compound deck because that sounds really fun. Just to be able to go for the Scorched win with Jinteki once in a while.
Yes, I think Cerebral Cast is freaking awesome. I was playing all gambling style deck when it first dropped, and first of all, putting mind games in people's heads before the game even really happens is just fun in its own right. But being able to get them, all on tilt just from all the gambling. But Cerebral Cast really had an impact. And there's a lot of decks where you don't even need tag punishment other than just trashing a Katie Jones or something like that to make it click.
I have a question. In the deck, you were running the Nisi compound probably, the new identity?
Yeah, correct.
Did you run the 3 Bullfrog suite?
No.
See, that's what I'm most excited for. I keep pulling them out, and I'm like, I want to do this so bad and just kind of have the 3 going, but
I did run a Bullfrog.
Okay.
I did run a Bullfrog.
I think you need 3 to get the full. I don't know if it's good, but I think in order to make it like at least comparable to other ice, you need to have multiple in play. I think. I don't know. They're sitting on the bubble in my like deck building, vault of ideas, and I just haven't pulled it out yet. So I don't know.
They just don't, like, unless you're really throwing them into something really terrible, it's not that great, right?
Yeah.
Because, a third of the time they're still getting through. It's not like, you can pay the same price for an Inazuma at this point. Yes, it's going to move them around, but then also you have a Bullfrog somewhere else, maybe somewhere you don't want it.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. But Bullfrog is definitely interesting, kind of like switcheroo, a little bait.
Well, Corpse was trying it out for a while. What did you think about it, Corpse?
That's the. Are you talking about Medtech or?
Yeah, the Medtech
Yeah.
6. You
So
were running 6 agendas there.
yeah, so I built the deck, and I don't think I had it down pat, and we tried to play it a couple times, and it didn't quite work out. And then I tried again a couple nights ago to build a deck that revolved around the same sort of thing, and it just was not popping. It just every time I looked at it, I just thought, man, there's like 5 ways to get around this. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it didn't feel right to me.
I hear you on that. Were you doing the trap deck or the minus
Trap.
1 agenda point deck? Yeah.
That as well. There's traps and that in there.
Yeah, I feel you on that one, man. Like I tried to go with the second one with the minus 1 agenda. I tried to like remove all traps and just go for like a rush style deck, and I found that was a lot better and could potentially be really competitive. But the fact that Data Dealer is already on the cusp of coming back, I don't think that.
Are you really sitting here telling me that Data Dealers?
I think Ian Sterling connection decks are going to be really popular.
Sure.
And it is a connection deck, and if you're running it with Aesop's Pawn Shop, I don't care what anybody says.
But I mean, it's the same
If
kind
you
of
have
argument
multiple-
of Sweeps Week with Andromeda. Who cares?
Oh,
It's
I
who
think
cares?
gonna
Yeah,
be good.
you got to go with it. If your deck, you can't. Shikyu's not going to win you the game, you know, because they're always going to take the minus 1 agenda if it's going to kill them.
Don't come into my house and tell me how to play the game, all right? see how I can do that?
I have to disagree with you on the Sterling. I don't think Sterling's going to see play for a while.
All right, guys.
I was trying to build a Sterling deck recently, and I just look at it and I'm like, I should just play. Like, I don't want to play a deck that's based on losing.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing, right? Like,
That's a very good way.
if you're not used to
Especially-
losing, you're not
You know what's
used to
funny?
playing.
In Anarch, he would be sick. But in Criminal, I want to be on top of you. I don't want to be behind you.
Yeah.
Why not both?
That's a different podcast altogether.
Call a friend.
Efficiency Committee has joined the chat here, and they said, is anyone running medical research fundraiser?
I am,
Yeah,
and I
of course
love
you
it.
are.
I'm totally running 3 of them. I love it.
Oh,
It's
Okay.
Good? You think it's good?
I don't think it's necessarily the best, but I love it for like turn run. Like, don't laugh, okay? Can I finish? Can I finish? Okay.
No one's laughing.
Jamie's laughing. I can see it.
No, he's
laughing.
not. He's got something in his teeth. He's good.
I like it for like early turn income, just because most people already don't want to face check Jinteki, but when I have 9 credits and I've just installed 2 cards first turn, they really don't want to face check. And then basically it kind of sits in my hand and is like HQ defense until I get brought down to a really low number. And if they've already account siphoned and they've already repeatedly done that and they have way too much money to control anyway, giving them an extra 3 credits to get yourself out of the hole is not a big deal. And it's not like a card that because I'm running it with 3 celebrity gifts, and then 3 sundews and 3 medical or mental health care center or whatever the hell that new one is. So it's just like a backup plan in case I get brought down to nothing.
So here's a question for Corps. You can start this off. Scott asks, yo guys, since Honor and Profit hit, do you feel that Jinteki is the most self-contained faction on the Corp side now? Or do you feel that they still need help outside of faction?
so that's a super, super good thought. And that was one of the things that I came across when I was doing my deck building session. Every time I built a deck, I had influence left over that I didn't feel like you know what I mean? There wasn't like the mad scramble to need to fill it up, right? So I think that in a lot of different deck builds, you're going to need to still put in some standard stuff. You know, you want to have your Jackson Howards, and maybe you want to be able to, who knows, just the basic standard stuff, or some transaction stuff, beanstalks, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that you'll be putting in. But I think that form and function-wise, yes, it is very, very possible now to build a good Jinteki deck, not needing your win condition to hinge on something from another faction.
Yeah, I think Jinteki did make out really well, but I still look back at the reality that was the first box, Creation and Control, gave HB a bunch of tools and a bunch of mediocre to bad agendas, and they still kind of do whatever the hell they want without any help.
Yeah.
You know? Like, yes, the 2.0 ice was worth, and there were a couple other good cards, but the reality is, every time I make an HB deck, I toss in, it's like, I'm going to put the best things in every other faction in my deck, because I don't need any fun things. I don't, unless it's San or Jackson Howard, I don't really look at it and be like, oh, I need that. I feel like HB is so contained, and then even though they didn't get a big box, NBN is walking around doing whatever they want. At this point, you might as well call Scorched Earth a combo NBN / Wayland card, because that's just the kill condition. That's just the kill condition. So I just don't think they need much else. And I think they can also play outside of it. Their ice is now decent enough to get what you need. And I look at Jinteki's ice, and I just don't think they got all the ice they needed. They got some really good ice, some really annoying ice, but sometimes it's just not going to cut it, including Inazuma and the dog, whatever it's called.
Huh?
No, the other one.
The one that's
Komainu
or Konami or
Komainu, yeah. That card is pretty destructive, especially if you flip it turn 1, but it can be gotten around. It is expensive, but you can also, if you need to and you know where you're at, you can run through it with no hand at all.
I'm with you on that. I do feel like Jinteki's ice still is not as good as it could be. Like, if you're planning on playing the porous, like, Personnel Evolution deck, I think you have almost every tool you need, because you don't care about the end of runs. But if you're going for that new style Replicating Perfection taxing deck, you need to have some solid ice. And I know I spend. Oh, somebody else joined the podcast. Oh, I see.
Not yet. Keep talking.
I know that I can't basically play without toll boosts, so splashing for them is just like almost necessary. I'm losing my train of thought. I keep getting these pictures, and I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I think they're pretty self-contained all in all. You need a little bit of ice, and splashing Ash to hold hands with Caprice is really fun, but other than that, I think they could play by themselves. Maybe not as much as NBN. I think NBN is still probably the most, because they already have San and Astro Script, and I mean, that's basically the deck, right?
Yeah. So the efficiency committee guys joined in, or maybe it's just a guy.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Hey. So who do we have there? We can't see your picture.
Expired Soda Pop.
Nice.
Alejandro.
Hey.
Are you the old guy or the guy with the suit?
No, I'm the guy who wasn't like painting the little picture when they were on video.
No, I put that up because I took down some stuff, so I got a little picture back there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll go to the next question here. Efficiency committee can join right in.
Yeah.
Steven asks, how about Bullfrog onto a Plan B as an alternative path?
I could jump in on that, because that's kind of the Tenon Institute deck that I've been thinking of running, and I don't know how viable it is. Again, it's just trying to use all the tricks and traps that is possible now. But I think with Tenon Institute and maybe running Bullfrog and Matrix Analyzer, like, if you have the Matrix Analyzer over that server and you keep throwing them through it, you could potentially score a lot of crap.
I don't disagree. I think that it's cheeky, and once the Bullfrog comes out for the first time, that's pretty much going to be the Bullfrog's lifespan.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Bullfrog at all. I think it's one of those, goes back to the Jinteki ice conversation, saying that their ice sometimes can be too hokey.
Yeah, but now, like, I mean, if you're specifically trying to do that deck, and I'm not advocating this deck at all, I'm just saying that it has more merit now than it did before, because we have the Tenon lines, right? So I think it's the Tenon lines, am I right? Tenon lines or whatever, the asset that lets you switch the stuff around.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
It's I don't know if it's there yet, but I mean, like, somebody needs to blare the path for it to turn into it. Like, it could just be like a fun kind of, take to your hobby night and mess around with. Because I do think you need to have more than one bullfrog. Like, whenever I bring up bullfrog as a possibility, I don't mean like just have one kind of in play. I'm trying to think of getting like multiple out as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's part of that's like your deck is built around the idea that could win a game for you. That earlier when I was saying I just have one, it's just because of the passive from Nisei, the new ID. So
I just don't think we'll see Bullfrog in any championship-winning decks, any tournament-winning decks at all.
That challenge?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
That's what I'm saying. It's
at least in Dallas.
It's that thought.
No one really cares for the for the Bullfrog or the Snowflake. I mean, we really don't care about that down here.
Have you ever played against a hardcore Snowflake deck?
Well, no, yeah. I mean, I was the Jinteki player down here since core, and I still won't use the card. I still play Jinteki today. It's just, I don't know. I'm not real big on the side effect.
Snowflake is so friggin' powerful now, especially in the taxing replicating perfection decks.
But I just pop out the corroder. I mean,
it still costs me $1 to res and you $2 to break.
Yeah,
if I res Hamatsu Baku, it costs you $1.
I'd rather use that over Snowflake.
No, not me, man. Not me. I love the fact that when I res my Snowflake, it lets people, even before they have their corroder, people are kind of like, I think I can get that. And then they end up spending so many clicks trying to get through it that it becomes ridiculous. And if I have two Hamatsu Baku stacked over top of each other, that costs me $5 to install and res all of that ice, and it only costs you $2 to break through it. Whereas if I have two Snowflakes, it costs me $3 and it costs you $4 to break through the server.
I'll tell you the problem with Snowflake is it's actually a bad early game piece of ice. It's because if I run it, we gamble. If you're not running Nisei, I spend 0, you spend what?
I'm not saying I'm saying in replicating perfection where you actually have it over your remote servers, right?
But replicating, over your remotes and replicating, it's better. Correct.
Jason, I was just going to say we need to have you on here more if you're just going to do the reverse of chase all the time. We need more anti-chase.
I'm always here. I mean, you called me today and said, let's do this, so let's do it. I like the idea smithing and the concepts, because I do believe that 80% of cards are viable, and I don't think that Snowflake is bad. It just sucks that you want your tiny barriers to be your early in the run, and it's actually pretty shitty.
I guess
for a cheap piece that you can toss over remote, but
it comes down to the
line.
binary and the analog ice that they were talking about.
That doesn't even make sense. I want to go ahead and put that up to note that makes no sense. Continue.
The analog is supposed to keep people out early on, and then later on, you guys are all just laughing at me. Did you call me up to make Is that why you called this guy, Jamison?
Why is it binary and analog?
It was the post. You don't read the post?
I get what you're saying. When I read it, I said, that just makes no... he has a fantastic point, and I agree with what he's saying. Just the words I didn't get.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, that's the analogy I'm going to use, because that's kind of the popular one right now. But I mean, if you're not trying to just end the run and you're trying to tax them over a period of time, I think Snowflake is the best way to go in Jinteki, assuming you don't want to splash for something else. I think it's better than Hamatsu Baku, personally.
I think it's better just to go with Eli. Just use the influence and get it. That's
assuming you have the influence. I agree. Eli is far better.
Amazing at taxing.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next question here. We'll go down the line. We'll start off with the efficiency committee. This guy here, Joshua, is Data Dealer a big threat now?
In our DFW meta, no, it's not. No. Will it become overall maybe? I think it'll see some more play, but I mean, I think it's still gonna be one of those cards that just doesn't make the cut.
If you want to be a data dealer badass, what you have to do is steal everyone's agendas and just continuously sack them until they have no agendas.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Other than that, that card is just it's not as good as the pistol, because okay, you're fighting against one card in one faction.
Yeah.
Yes, Q is good sometimes, but at least the pistol is going to get you Ash. It's going to get you Nisei. It's going to get you Jackson. And sometimes with no response on the Jackson too, you really force them to actually just crack their Jackson. So, I don't know.
Corpse, what do you think here?
I'm on the exact same page as these guys here. I think that, taking one card in your deck, okay, it gives you $9, but you have to sack an agenda for it, or something worth an agenda, like the that Jinteki trap. The situation is so rare that it doesn't warrant taking it.
Squid?
I've already talked about this card. I think that in the land of hostages, and I run 3 in my deck, to put in, if I was already running criminals, to put in one data dealer just to stop Harmony Medtech from running a train on me in a tournament, I think I'd probably do that. And then there's always that situation where you get to a certain amount of points where you know you're going to score out probably a 2-pointer anyway. So if you're already at 6 points, dropping 1-point agenda is not going to be an issue.
I think that's a really fair point. I think that's actually the best point about it, that there are a lot of situations late game where you want to push through and the 1-pointer doesn't matter anymore. It's like, oh, I've already seen all the hostile takeovers. Congratulations. Here's your 1-pointer for $9. I'll take just as much money as it did from you or for you to get. Plus, I get the bad pub all game. Also, that is a good point about Medtech, as you said. It will get rid of those if you feel like they want to try to win out just with that easy 2 for 2 out of hand. You can stop them with that too. So that's good.
I personally think that the Harmony Medtech deck with that -1 point agenda is really overpowered. Like it makes, because the three of your 3-pointers are personal evolutions and they become ridiculous to score. So I think if you don't have some sort of check to keep that deck in line, I think that deck will go far out. But I think another huge point towards data dealer is if you're already running the resource economy build and you have Aesops in your deck, data dealer isn't uncommon. So you can run multiple just to get them out early and play them for $1, and then you could trash them to Aesops, or you can use them for that new or that operation that gains you money for each resource you have.
I think that
I think even just having one in the deck, I think it's going to be
how do you
standard.
hurt someone?
Sorry?
Nothing.
I just think it's going to be standard. Like I don't think it's going to be a huge deal, but I think if you're able to pull it out when you need it, I think it's going to be really, I personally think it's going to be in almost every criminal deck that runs the resource economy.
So before we move on to the next question, I'll close off this. I think that it's too situational. I don't think it should be included in a criminal deck at all. You have to build a deck based on what you think you're going to see the most. You can't build a deck based on, oh, I might come across this one card, or have an opportunity to steal a 1-point agenda and I'm going to run it. Too many times it's going to be a dead draw. I don't think anybody went to Worlds last year and placed in the top 50 and had Net Shield in their deck just because they thought they were going to run into a Jinteki player, right? It's too situational for me. Next up here was a question from Eric. In our meta, Jinteki games tend to be longer than other factions. Do you think going to time at tournaments might become an issue?
Absolutely. I'll jump in. Absolutely. Jinteki is the most annoying faction to play against, hands down, no questions asked. They are just, you beat your opponent mentally with Jinteki, and that's the coolest part about them. That means you need to play a long game. Sure, there can be early flatlines. Sure, with both Tenon and Harmony Medtech, you're going to see some fast advance. But the reality is, at the end of the day, there's still more net damage out there. That means more turns of them gaining money to pay for more net damage, and you drawing cards to make sure that you are not dying to net damage. It sucks, and I think that will be a problem as time goes on, but that's also the game. I think that if you're a smart player, you play fast, you do what you need to do, you get in, you get out. I think you'll be fine if you're a good player. And hopefully the guy who's playing is not a really slow player. That is my biggest worry, is running into one of those guys where you go to time and you're beating them anyways, and you know eventually it'll happen, but the time just doesn't allow.
I'm going to jump in right after that because you made the points flawlessly, and I think the main thing is being a Jinteki player. I don't even play necessarily a trap kind of kill you trick deck, but it's a two-way street when you're playing Jinteki. You have to try to keep pressure on them, because if you don't put pressure, then the game doesn't necessarily move forward either. So it can't all be on the Jinteki player's side. Like, I don't know. I guess that's the best way that I can say it.
Anybody else want to chime in here?
I'm good. Jason hit the nail on the head there.
Boom.
Dropping knowledge.
You guys good? Efficiency committee still there?
Bueller. Nothing.
I heard a door. Maybe he took off.
I think the
Okay.
term is AWK. Is that right?
Anthony asks, I think tricks and traps are inherently the wrong way to play Jinteki for a tournament. This is why things like Fast Advanced, Teninum Jinteki did well. I had a solid opponent, independent game plan, and executed on it.
It's not
Oh,
a
is this-
question. No, I think what he's trying to say is that using all of the unique things from Jinteki is going to make you a better player than trying to trick and trap your way through. And I don't necessarily disagree, because you definitely don't want to rely on your opponent. But did they get the tools to kill people, regardless of them being stupid? And I think they might be getting there. I don't know. I haven't done enough research, but it's getting pretty darn scary out there.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm running a replicating perfection deck with 0 traps. I have not a 1 trap.
Spoiler alert.
I don't even have a shock in the deck. No fetal AIs, no nothing. So I think if what I'm getting from what he's saying is the fact that the tricks and traps are the downside of Jinteki, I totally agree. I think you have to try to play competitively more like the other factions, just using some of the scary tools that we have in Jinteki.
It's a scare tactic, right? It's a scare tactic.
Yeah,
And that's actually why I like the idea of, and when I play Jinteki, I like 1 or maybe 2, just because I want to scare the shit out of you.
Yeah.
I want to install Advanced Advance.
If they're doing an R&D dig, you want them to see a trap, so you know that they're in there, and then that's when the game starts, right? They might have only seen your only trap, but after that, it's game on.
I think that everybody automatically assumes that there's traps in the deck. It doesn't matter how little you play or what you do. I think everybody's going to assume that there's some sort of something in the deck, whether or not it's a fetal AI or a snare.
But you might prevent the runner from being a hero in the late game when they could have done something really big, but they just didn't have the hand size to do it at the time. And I think that's the difference. And you want them to have that. And I agree with you, Chase, or Sly, or whatever you're called anymore, that it's it's really.
I changed my name. It's legally Sly now. So.
Excellent. You want them to assume, but like I said, you can be a hero in the late game. I haven't seen anything all game. Maybe that means they're all on the bottom of the deck, but I don't have a chance to win because he's got X, Y, and Z going for him. I'm gonna make a power play.
Yeah.
Corps or efficiency committee? Any comments there?
Yeah, I'll take it. Coming from somebody again, I'm a huge advocate of playing against the player, not necessarily against their deck. So traps for me are something that I can generally bluff my way into them hitting. Zaibatsu obviously helps a great deal with this sort of thing, because if you don't have Zaibatsu and they have any kind of expose, you're basically sunk, right? But if you are able to play the player and just kind of feel out whether they're going to be super aggressive or not, or whether they're the kind of cautious, kind of take it easy and load my hand up and then make a 1-run kind of thing, there are ways you can play that are going to completely throw their game off. And that's where the traps really come in handy because you kind of need them. I mean, if you don't have them, then there's no downside to that. But yeah, I feel that they're important. I mean, not to shrink down or belittle the builds that don't use them, because I think those are pretty cool too. And going back to the original question, using traps does make the game slower, especially when you're playing Jinteki. If you don't have them and you have another game plan, then maybe that is the way to go to a tournament, because it's just nicer for your opponents. It means you won't go to time at all, or very rarely. Those kinds of things are important. So I think Anthony there, he had a pretty good statement there, pretty solid.
Efficiency, you guys back?
They can't see
we, we can still hear you, though.
We can hear you. Yes.
So, oh, he's opening a candy wrapper.
Let's move it on.
All right. So this one is a little smaller question. I can read it a little easier without sounding like a grade 3. In a taxing replicating perfection deck, is it worth taking Rainbow over Eli?
Oh, here's my question, my Rainbow question.
I would say no.
Ugh. Somebody else can go. Okay, Eli is better than Rainbow, but Rainbow is good. That's all I'm going to leave it at. I like Rainbow personally, for the same reason why I like Snowflake.
I mean, I think Rainbow is a good card too. I really do.
I'm glad you do.
No, if you have the influence, go with Eli. If you don't, Rainbow is still pretty taxing, I think. I mean, heck, even throw a Chum in front of it. You know, I mean, tax him some more.
Yeah, I think you did a great job of saying it. I would work backwards. You know, put in the Elis and replace them with Rainbows if you need.
Yeah, absolutely.
Corp, so you got Rainbow in your deck?
No, sir. I understand its merits. I understand that it's nice and taxing early game. It makes them go and find something, anything. But I mean, really, any ice will do that. So they're just going to search for their most efficient breaker, whip it out.
Except for Yug and Mimic, they can't do that. So.
That's one thing I do like about it. It can't be yogged unless they have a data sucker, and to get a data sucker, they got to run Central. I mean, if you can lock them up early.
Nice Carver, Bishop, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In the Anarch suite, the only one that can break it is Corroder, and it's so inefficient. It's brutal.
The thing that I never ever hear is this. Nothing. You know those games where you gotta play an Ichi or you gotta play a Roto Turret and you're not resing it because they don't have a program. If you res a Rainbow, they're gonna toss down the first thing that can break it, and then if it's not a Sentry Breaker, you can get them really well.
Oh my God! You hit the nail on the head.
That is the key for Rainbow, in my opinion.
I think you're 100% right, and nobody's putting a lot of merit in it.
Yeah, you're definitely onto something.
Especially my two co-hosts.
All right, next question right here. Do you guys think Mental Health Clinic is worth including in a replicating perfection deck? Does it do more good for Jinteki than the runner?
I'll chime in because I actually use it. I don't have a trap in my deck, and yes, it does an insane amount of work. It reses for 0, even if they want to trash it. It costs them $3. It's a flawless card. Like, I don't care what your hand size is. And now with that Kamanu card that you can, not that I run it, but it doesn't matter.
Don't.
No.
Komainu.
Pardon?
It's called Komainu.
Oh, I thought you said. All right.
Yeah.
The big dog.
The big dog.
Good
yeah,
ice.
no, I love it. I love it. It's probably on par with Sundew in my opinion.
I really want to play it in Engineering the Future because it's like I drop it, I gain $1. I res it, I gain $1. You trash it, you spend $3. That's just stupid.
That's awesome.
It's nice that you're making money right away. To me, that's the only.
No other one of those economy cards do you get that value immediately.
Perfect. Anybody else want to throw something at this one? Boom. Done.
It's weird when we're not all sitting beside each other because you can't just like look and chime in. There's like this whole like it's like we're doing a digital dance. And
this is the wave of the future.
Digital dance.
I believe it's called Taking Turns.
Yeah. Tony Miller. Tony Miller writes in and says, "Dear Netrunner Live, do you Do you think prepaid voice pad shapers, Kate or CT, have passed Andy Suckers as the dominant deck type?
Time will tell.
No.
What does that mean? I've never even, like, is
Just
that,
flat out
that
no.
good? Is it that good?
Is it a thing?
I know it's a thing, but is it that, like, sure?
That's
Like,
the one. That's the one that runs like the power naps and lucky finds, right? Like, is that the
Jameson's
deck
a
we're
little
talking
better.
about?
I don't put prepaids in my shaper. I just don't have I don't have the deck space for them. I run everything. Like I run Chaos Theory, I'm running 40. If I'm running Kate, I'm running 45, and
It's too hard to lose the motivations in Eureka's. Eh?
I have to agree. I think it could be a good card, but once again, does it make the cut? That's my question.
And here's the thing, I'm going to add this to boot. It's an economy card at the end of the day, so it's pretty much irrelevant, right? Like, those economy cards could just be a brick of any cards. It doesn't really matter. Are you a good player? Because if you're a runner, you just got to outplay them. You have to outthink them, and you got your brick of economy cards. Is that going to make you enough money to get you through the game? Sure, maybe not. I don't know. I haven't played it myself, but at the end of the day, you look at your deck and you're like, how much money do I have? Do I need more? Do I need less? Do I want to skate by? You know, it's the kind of card that will give you a lot of money. Shapers have some really good run events that cost money, or even events at all that cost money. So it'll get you there. Is it good? I mean, he's comparing. The thing I like about it for my argument is he's comparing it to Andy Suckers. Andy Suckers, Andy Not Suckers, you know, Kate. You know, you play all these big name runners. They just do work. They do a good job. You play the classic cards, and you can win games if you're a smart runner. I don't think there's a dominant deck type. I think it's just people found out they can be good at Andromeda, and so they played Andromeda.
Do you know what the best cards that give you reoccurring credits are?
Cyberfeeder.
No, it's Wizard and Making News. I don't. I've never reached for reoccurring credit cards in any of my deck builds.
Not even compromised employees for traces?
No.
Oh man, that's such a good card.
I think Cyberfeeder is a ridiculous card. Every time I play it, I'm so happy I have it, and it protects you from so many things like power shutdowns and whatnot. I love it.
I just can't get behind that stuff right now. Like I even tried to do the silencer thing.
There's no good recurring credits in Shaper, and it seems like that you're wearing the green hat all the time. You know, this one's blue.
Yeah, well, it may look blue right now, but it's really green at heart.
I believe it.
I don't understand. Was that like a sports reference, or we're talking sports now?
We're literally talking about primary colors and secondary colors.
All right, here we go.
That's why I messed it up.
The next question: would you guys use any of the honor and profit cards from Jinteki out of faction?
Yes. Sure.
I'd say Chairman Hero and Haas Byroid. That would be pretty tight.
You know what? I can't get behind that card right now because of the stupid Smith & Wesson. Someone runs your HQ.
Yeah, but if you do it, you just trash it friggin' before they get to do it.
Hey,
you
click,
res it
click,
at the end of their turn.
2 points.
Res it at the end of their turn. They have to discard 2 cards, and then on your turn install over it, and then they can't take it out of archives.
They can't. Yeah, when they're killing it, they're not accessing it. They shouldn't count as 2 points, right?
Yeah, it doesn't count as 2 points.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
let them spend
it's
3
not
clicks and
trash.
kill it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're right. Good point. Never thought
Yeah, they're
of
not
that.
accessing it. They're just killing it. But I mean, like I said, make it taxi for HQ. But then again, if it's criminal, they'll probably pop a damn sneak door down and just come around, and then yeah. So
I ran Director Haas, and someone in this panel of people here would just imp the hell out of Director Haas from my archives, or not archives, from my R&D, and just scoop 2 points on me every time.
Guilty.
So I don't, I don't know. I'm not reaching for the executives as quickly as maybe other people are.
I mean, I think that there's, I mean, as I mentioned, I think that there's a lot of good cards you could do. The influence values are pretty fair. There's a couple of good ones. There's a couple of good 2s. Inazuma, particularly, especially like Inazuma Archer. Good day, sir.
If I may answer him real quick, he's asking if any HP Jinteki cards out of faction. I don't really play Wayland, but I don't know, medical research fundraiser. I mean, it's one influence, a transaction. Wayland doesn't really care how much money you have because they tend to have more money than you.
Yeah, they just care how much more money they have than you.
Yeah,
good point.
I mean, maybe they'll gain 9, you gain 3, so I don't know. That's the only part I can really think of.
I think maybe Pup will see play.
Pup is good. Pup is great.
I think that's the one that comes to my mind right away.
I don't know if it's
what about
splash
do you think,
though. Like,
what do you think about the Cerebral Cast? I mean, as a tagging mechanism.
I think that you're probably always going to take C-Source if you're going out of faction.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's less influence too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one less influence, and it always tags.
I guess it remains to be seen. Corpse, you got anything to say on this one?
Not especially. I mean, it completely depends on the deck that you're building, whether or not you're going to want to do any of this stuff. I mean, throwing in that one odd Jinteki trap might make all the difference. Like if you're playing Wayland and if they got a bunch of Plascreets up or something like that, and if you take the one that nukes their whole hand, and then you can double scorch them for the win kind of thing if they're holding no cards, then I don't know. It's time's going to tell on that one too, because there's not enough time has gone by for me in order to see the merit of adding a lot of these in, whether it would boost the deck past its current status with X cards that are already out. You know what I mean?
I think everybody's going to splash Fast Track from Honor and Profit. That's my prediction.
Jeez. I don't know why that card exists.
Neither do I. God damn it.
That card is dumb.
It is. I agree, Jason. I completely agree.
What the hell? When we saw it, I was like, well, it's going to cost 6 or 7.
Yeah, that's what we all thought.
Or make it cost influence at least.
What? 0? No influence.
Not even a double. It's not even a double operation.
Okay, but to be fair, NBN barely ever won before, so now they finally have a chance.
But now they're winning all the time.
Thank you.
Now they got a fighting chance.
I mean, I would say Wayland's dropped to what? Maybe the bottom? You think?
Easily.
Yeah.
I haven't given that much.
It's funny. I'm gonna comment on this real quick because you guys often talked about how powerful Wayland was whenever I'd watch any kind of thing you guys did. And I just never felt that. And I played a lot of Wayland too because I think it's fun. I just never felt that. I felt like it was the faction for people who can't beat people any other way.
That's how I felt too.
See, when we said that and we kind of gave that impression, people jumped on us. Like, that was because we were around from the beginning and there was that whole wave of, tag and bagging people isn't actually winning, and we got on that bandwagon for a while, and then we quickly got smacked off it because there's a lot of people who don't necessarily rely on it to win, but they use it as it's like a pressure cooker in their decks. I mean, we've all seen the super modernisms, and like I found with watching people that are actually playing the deck properly, they're trying to rush out agendas, but putting so much pressure on you to not make mistakes that then you get scorched. Like, I feel like in an actual scorched deck, like, I'm going to give a shout out to Kaiwin. He was the guy that opened my eyes to it because it was like a new level. He was actually scoring, and then when I made that mistake, that's when I died.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. That is the best way to play him. That is the only way to play Wayland, and unfortunately, they have no other way to play. I used to play the trash ice slot. I like that a lot still. That's a minor secondary way to play, but other than that, you pretty much got the tag and bag, and you've got to rush. You've got to rush.
I think, unfortunately, I think Jinteki's the new hotness right now. A lot of people are trying it out.
That's right.
NBN's got the the fetch card now for their agendas. I think when it comes to heavy regionals, especially with this new tournament structure, I think you're going to see a lot more Wayland than you think, because a win's a win now. I mean, you come down to that new tournament structure, you got 35 minutes to play a game. You know, you're going to have people that weren't necessarily winning before up in the higher ranks because all I got to do is kill you.
And we can spend some time on that.
I don't disagree with you, but are they winning the tournament? Are they getting past the top 16, or if they cut to a top 8, are they getting deeper into the top 8? And like I said, it's a good way to play. It's not a bad way. It's not a cheating way.
No, I don't think they're going to be in the top 8 and stuff like that. But I'm saying like guys that were that showed up with their kill decks before and maybe got knocked early because of the way that the tournament was scored.
Oh,
You're going to see more kill decks, you know, in the top, you know, 20 or 30, or once they cut to whatever that double elimination is, because it's just going to be such a, you know, one slip up from the other guy and he's going to be knocked out.
I agree.
All right. Joshua asks, is Corp gaining in power? About midway through the spin cycle, Runner was pretty obviously ahead at high skill levels. How about now?
I'll take that one. It increased dramatically, at least in our meta in our area. Like, it was consistently from core, basically, yeah, just like you said, up until both the beginning side of the spin cycle. Runners were consistently winning. It's like they were always outpacing the Corp no matter what. And then all of a sudden, a couple of packs came out, you go to a tournament, and your Corp is the one that's winning all of the games, and your Runner is the one that's faltering. And I personally have found that at the last bunch of tournaments we've gone to, where my Corp has gone basically undefeated, but my Runner is the one that needs help. And I'm playing an Andy Sucker deck, so it's not that it's bad, you know what I mean? It's just that now the Corp is able to outpace the Runner, which is a scary thought for a lot of people. If you trash the right resource at the right time, then there's not a lot of Runner decks can do anymore. So.
Yeah, they got some very dangerous cards now. Power Shutdown kind of put the fear into some runners.
That's some corroder hate for Power Shutdown.
Yeah.
Why are you playing those cyber feeders?
I tried that the other day, and oh my god, it's brutal. Like, it wasn't that popular in our meta, the power shutdowns, but I played it against, I think it was Dustin, and he was ready to just break his own neck. Like, he was so frustrated. I think I power shut down his freaking corroder like 3 times.
That is the worst.
So I think it's pretty. We're all pretty on par there. That the Corp is pretty much the gaining power, but I do think games are probably 50-50. I don't think one's outweighing the other in the grand scheme of things here.
And isn't that what we want?
Yeah, most definitely. Let's take a look here. Someone says, sorry for my English, but in Italy it's very late. No problem, man.
It's because he asked the question, then he said that.
Oh,
you know what?
Oh, here it is. Here it's coming out of order. I was very excited about Harmony Medtech since your video. Now you say that it's bad. I'm pretty sad about it. In a fast answer, is Harmony Medtech with only 3-point agendas so bad?
Can I chime in? Do you mind if I chime in, James?
Hit it, man.
Okay. I liked Harmony Medtech, just try it out, but we've been play testing a lot down here in DFW, and when I say DFW, I mean Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas.
Yep.
And, it's getting wrecked right now with people playing 3-point agendas. It's just too much. In fact, I played a game today. A guy he's running 3 priority recs and 3 perfects.
Yeah,
It's just getting wrecked. I mean, I think it needs to. You need to run some 2-pointers in there. I think you need to get your Gila Hands Arcology in there too. That's a good little economy card for Jinteki. But yeah, running all 3-pointers, I just don't think is the way to go with this deck. I think you want to do it, but it's just not. You don't need to do it. Yeah, you play those Niseis, and then those Niseis are such great agendas for Jinteki. The NAPDs, yeah, you're going to have a little bit more agendas than you want, but I definitely don't think you need to go all 3-pointers.
Yeah, I mean, I know that I was the one that was mainly excited about Harmony Medtech, and I was mostly excited about, because in my head it ran fast. Like, I just thought it would be like kind of like 4 turns, 4 quick moves, and you know, you'd either die or you'd lose. And I was really excited for that, but when you're actually playing it, you don't want to lose. So you end up dragging the game on, and it becomes way harder to win. It's like, because you don't have the actual tools in your deck to actually win a game. Everything is based on a bluff, and once that's gone, or once they score a single point, like a single agenda, then your whole world unravels, and then you're digging your way out of a hole. It's just,
You nailed it.
yeah.
You completely nailed it. I don't know if anyone else has, but has anyone else, like when you play against it, you forget that you only need 6 points? I've done that at least twice. I'm like, oh, I need 6 points. I only need 6 points to win. But no, I agree. Once you steal that first 3-pointer from Jinteki, the Harmony Medtech, yeah, they're in panic mode now. So it's just, I don't know. I'm not real sold on it just yet.
Although this goes against my golden rule of card limits, I don't think Harmony Medtech should be played at a 40-card minimum. I think you just throw that minimum out, play it like the rest of, like you'd be playing a 45, maybe even put it up to 49, and just deal with the 12 influence and build a regular Jinteki. Throw in medical breakthroughs, your Nises, in all your other stuff. The world is yours. That needed to run at 40 because you were just digging for your Astro scripts. You wanted to see a specific agenda at that time before the fetch card was out for it.
Absolutely.
Medtech, I do think that it shouldn't be played with the 2 sets of 3. It just should be played regular Jinteki.
I think the easiest way to shoot Medtech down is the fact that you want to play with June bugs, but the runner starts with enough money to friggin' self-modifying code their Deus Ex in, and Deus Ex is like a staple in almost every green deck out there, and that's a huge player in the game right now, like if not one of the best factions to run with. And I don't know, the anxiety is just crazy. It's just I don't know.
Cool. Anybody else want to get in last minute Harmony Medtech?
I was going to say the worst enemy to a Harmony Medtech deck with 6 agendas in it is indexing. Because they see it and they're like, oh, there it is, do it again, got it. Okay, now I actually have time to wait to build up funds to be able to make that double run and grab the next one, and it's over. So, I don't know. That's basically my take on it.
Cool. And my original thought was, because we had this argument on the show, and it was like, my original thought was the ice is going to be so hard to get through to index, but I was completely wrong. Like, it's not. It's just because you don't have enough ice to actually play everywhere. Yeah, and especially everybody, I think people get so caught up in the fact that Mushin No Shin puts 3 tokens on, but they forget the fact that it's in a new server. Like, that means that the level of protection that you have, even when you're trying to score out, is so minimal. It's crazy. And if you want to actually Mushin No Shin, you have like 3 servers that are just like single ice that have nothing in them, just because you want ice.
Yeah, it needs to be. You need to be thinking Jinteki Rush. So Enrico, there's your answers, brother. Barry says doesn't appreciate all the Wayland hate. Supermodism is still good.
See?
I agree. It's true.
Okay.
Can't hate on Wayland.
Pop-up versus pup. Who wants to take this?
I could start, I guess. Yeah, I think they're completely different. They're both taxing pieces of ice, but I don't know. Pop-up window is probably one of the best cards in the game, and pup is just kind of a speed bump.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that pop-up gives you the economy that you need and to win the game. Pup doesn't give you anything to win the game.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Yeah. When I'm deck building, I always put pop-up window in the economy pile when I'm thinking economy. It's not classified as ice.
Sometimes it's your only ice.
Yes. Thanks for the low blow.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think that it is economy, and it's just. I mean, I guess I can't say it any more eloquently. It's just different, and they're both good. They're both good.
Yeah. One's a century.
I think the question is which one do you think is better? And I think the clear winner is pop-up window.
Same. I'll take pop-up over pop out of faction.
I'll take pop-up for 400.
All right. Next question here. Do any of you have a guilty pleasure, runner or corp?
Oh, I'm glad you prefaced that with the end, because Corp could have went on with a lot.
That one identity that is not tier 1, but you just like to play it and try to make it good.
Hey, Jameson, do you play Exile?
Not anymore. I'm throwing the towel in on Exile right now. I just couldn't get. To me, Exile, I would always build an Exile deck, and then the last minute, I'm like, this just needs to be Kate. I mean, there's not enough. I'm not using his power enough to get anything out of it.
Aw.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Hi, Mrs. CorpDraw.
I guess I'll say that for me it's oh, hello.
Hi. Do you want anything from McDonald's?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
You can...
What do you guys want?
You guys are like Millhouse's parents, eh? You guys
Like
look
what?
You look like Millhouse's parents. You look alike.
Now, he doesn't wear glasses. I do. These are just for like.
Oh.
Can we trade hosts?
I'm going to McDonald's.
I'm the new host of the show. Thanks for coming on, guys.
All right, so efficiency. What were you saying, man?
I've completely lost what I was trying to say.
I'm on TV, Mom. Hi, Mom.
You have a guilty.
I'm sorry,
pleasure?
for runner. Yeah, runner.
We fell into the stereotype. As soon as the girl walked on screen, all the nerds went quiet.
Yeah, there was a silence.
Yeah.
I would say professor, just because I want to see him win a tournament. I mean, at least down here, he hasn't. I just want to make him work.
Eventually, there will be enough programs, but there still isn't. You know what's funny? Eventually, there'll be enough memory.
How long is everybody going to say that, though? Should we just say that the professor just doesn't work?
I wish he had a link. I wish
James,
he had at least one link.
That would fix him? That's what, really?
I mean,
That would fix him?
I would like to run Underworld Contact Economy with him if I could, but he just, I don't know. More menu. I mean, they gave him that Cyber Solutions mem chip, that 4-cost 2 memory, but I don't know.
It's a little pricey.
Yeah.
my guilty pleasure is Andromeda.
Hi, I'm Jason.
It's not
and I
tier
play
1 anymore. That
Andromeda.
guy told us that Kate was tier 1 now. Not Kate. So Andromeda, there you go.
It's news to me.
Corpse.
I mean, I play all the Anarchs all the time, so it's, you know, I'll play anything that's not Shaper pretty much, but definitely the Anarchs, I guess they're not tier 1, and I play them all, and I do pretty well, so.
You know, my guilty pleasure, I'll say it's the noise blackmail deck.
That's a good deck. In
That
all honesty, that deck worked really, really well.
Nice.
My guilty pleasure, I guess, are we going like identity or like?
Yeah.
I love Rena. Like, I can't stop playing her. She's my favorite. And yeah, I don't know. I kind of like my guilty pleasure is kind of digging the fact that people say that cards aren't good. That's my guilty pleasure. I like when somebody says this doesn't work, and then.
But hard at work isn't good.
No, I like, you know, it's like all those people that say Notch isn't a good enough, you know, scorched earth protection, and here I am running 3, and I never get scorched.
What is Notch? I don't even know what that is.
I don't know.
New
But
Angeles,
Match.
New Angeles City Hall.
Oh, okay.
He puts an O in it for some
Yeah,
reason.
an errant O goes in every
Nacho?
time.
I think it's the
I'm-
Canadian thing.
That's how you pronounce it. In
No,
Cambridge.
don't stereotype us.
No.
Just based on him.
Notch, eh? Notch.
Not day.
Match.
Guilty pleasures, corpse.
Guilty pleasure for me is nothing with the black card, but noise. So many times I've taken out all the cards and tried to build a noise deck with in-faction breakers, and it's just I can't do it. It just doesn't feel. Every time I put it together, I just go, man, I should just be playing Andy, you know. So
I'll tell you my real guilty pleasures is HB Next Design. For some reason, I want them to sing so much.
Guys, that's gonna win Worlds. I was told.
It is.
Not by me. I was not part of that.
Who said that?
Who said
Who
that?
said that?
I mean, to be honest, not Andromeda, obviously. I mean, like I said, I played the Anarchs, but for Corp, though, I just love HB. I just love big-ass ice, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
That's so annoying to when you res. You res it the first time, you're like, oh, I'll click through this, and then later on, you're like, man, that's just so much money. And then there's a Nisei or an Ash, and that just sucks even more.
So the next question here we already touched on a little bit, but we'll just hit the end of it. Do you think Chairman Hero will see some plays in tournaments, maybe in Wayland?
I don't
Nicholas.
see it in Wayland, but I don't really see it in tournaments, I don't think. Unless there's this crazy janky combo that flatlines you. But
He's maybe thinking like off the grid, like having that in there too, just so they can't like snag him, until we do something crazy.
yeah, I don't know.
How much money do you have off the grid, Chairman Hero? Still kill you with Scorched? Like it? That's not gonna. It just
Chairman
doesn't.
Hero doesn't res for a lot of money. I think it's like
That's
$2.
true. That's true, but he's still a responsibility. So you've got to have the ice. So at that point, you're pretty much not killing them because you've dedicated so much, so many resources to Chairman Hero.
Yeah,
And
we
often-
don't use too much.
Why don't you just put 2 Chairman Heroes in your Grindel deck and just call it a day?
That's my.
Although I have
five
heard
influence
these
apiece.
people, I have heard people talking about like running the Harmony Medtech and the 5-for-3 agendas, the 6 5-for-3 agendas with Chairman Hero because it doesn't matter if you score one, so you kind of just play it out and try to flatline them. I've been hearing chatter about that, but I don't know how viable it is. And
Who's playing Harmony Medtech 3-point agendas and saying it doesn't matter if you score 1?
No, it doesn't
No,
matter if you score
a Chairman Hero.
Hero.
Oh,
because it's worth 2.
true. So, we're going to see Chairman Hero in Wayland?
No,
I don't. Influence is too much. No.
Agreed.
still need C-Source.
Next question here says, would you as a runner, knowing the Corp plays diversified portfolio, try and prevent them from building more remote servers?
No, let them score that. Who cares?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't even know why they'd be playing that card, first off. Like, I run the most horizontal or vertical or whatever the hell deck you want to call it around here, and that card is just not worth it.
I'm not really too sure how you would stop them from building a server. Like, they can put their cards wherever they want, unless you think you're going to start parasiting.
I think he means, like, are you
remotes.
going to try to control their asset economy more based on the fact that they're running that card?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I think he's asking, and I don't see why you would, personally.
It just comes down to trashing, and it's like, if you're Wizard, sure. If you're not, are the cards really good? Then yeah, I'll trash those too. If they're not, then I probably let them have their extra couple dollars on their diversified portfolio or whatever.
Perfect. All right. Chase, do you still use Neural Katana? I feel Pup is more taxing and could replace it.
I don't use Neural Katana. Everything I have in my deck has, shy of Yagura, has an Netrunner in it. So Yagura is the most porous of my ice.
Well, you're running RP now, right?
Now, yeah, since it came out, basically.
Correct. But so, if you were not to run that, would you run Royal Katana to help this gentleman?
I think we touched on it with that. I think Kamani is the big pup. I think in a personal evolution deck where you're not trying to keep them out, then yeah, I think Neural Katana still has a lot of merit, but
Because it can kill them.
yeah, it can kill them, but I still think that Tsurugi is probably way better. Like, Tsurugi trumps it almost every time, in my opinion.
The number of subroutines, I mean, you need to keep them poor somehow. So, I don't think Neural Katana is bad. I mean, we had a situation the other day when we were playtesting on stream, and everyone in the room kind of found out how awesome Komainu is, and then everyone found out that Komainu can't kill you by themselves. And that's the kind of thing that's just frustrating. You got, if you have nothing else to lose, you don't give a, you don't give a care or whatever you guys want me to censor me to say.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Getting into that server, then you know what? I'm coming in, Komainu. Stop me, however you choose.
So let's start down with efficiency committee for this one.
Yes, sir.
With the rise of Jinteki, do you think we're going to see Deus Ex and Net Shield in place of Plascrete?
No. Net Shield, no. Deus Ex is played a little bit around here because a lot of players now are starting to play with Jinteki. So we are seeing Deus Ex, but Net Shield, no, probably not. But once again, I just don't think it's a program that makes the cut for the limited MU that we have.
Agreed.
I think you'll see inexperienced players to the tournament scene will probably bring it because their friends will tell them to bring it because Jinteki's popular now. But anybody who's experienced, got games under their belt, that sort of thing, it's almost not worth it.
So how many Net Shields are you going to run, Caleb?
I was going to say, inexperienced. I was going to say they'll try to install like 3. I'm like, no, it only stops at 1.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to see people replace Plascrete. Deus Ex will be run as a one-off in addition to it. And I think it always was. I've always had it in mind, not just because it absorbs the net damage, but because it can also, if you needed to, break one of those big APs.
Yeah. I mean, Deus Ex is just an amazing card. It's not in the same category as Plascrete whatsoever. It's not the same type of card. It doesn't get rid of the same type of damage. It's also a breaker. I mean, it's not the same. You can't put them in the same category, and you should probably have both if you're running Shaper, and if you're not, you can consider the Deus Ex, and if not, whatever.
And the Deus Ex only prevents it from one source, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so even there, so Plascrete is still...
It's nice to break a Janus with it.
Yeah, that's good.
I really like this next question here, so this is to give some thought into this. Do you think that the gray/black ops are common enough with cerebral messaging to make Tally Peralta, Flint, Notch a workable combo for giving BP to the Corp?
No, I can say that with full confidence.
Not at all.
I don't think so. And I run 3-Notch in my deck, and I really want Tally to be good, and she's not. It's not good.
Nothing more to say. No.
No.
I agree with. I
don't know how to proceed. I think I should just say like over and out, and then there won't be any dead air.
Drop microphone.
Yeah. I got this little thing. I'll be like, so there you go.
I mean, you know what? Here, I'll give the Gandhian this. It all depends on your meta too. If you see everyone packing triple subliminal messaging in their decks, go ahead. You know, it might work.
Yeah, absolutely.
National meta, not worth bringing. Not enough. I don't think subliminal is dominant at all. I actually don't even see it in my meta at all whatsoever.
Not even as a one-up?
Not very rarely. I see it every once in a while, and it's a fine card, but it's the kind of card where it's a good runner or someone who's winning the game. You're just never. That card's terrible.
Was it ever there for you guys?
Yeah, it was, and it just kind of fell out.
Yeah, I feel the same here.
That's because they realized that running was good, and most people don't neglect to do it.
Exactly. It'll get you through the games of the weak players, but you don't want to put cards that'll help you beat weak players.
Yeah.
To put it frank. I mean, we're talking regional tournament strategy here. I think that his yes, the answer is actually yes. It is good enough to do that if you want. But if you want to go win tournaments, I don't think that's as viable as it may seem.
I agree. To expand on Jason's answer, right? I agree with him. I mean, while you're trying to set up this combo, I'm going to be scoring agendas.
No doubt.
I think
You know what I mean?
I think the main reason why Tally isn't a viable option is because there's no deck that you really benefit from having like that much bad publicity, like especially in an Anarch deck, and you don't want to splash for Tally. Like say for instance, all goes well and they have like seven bad pub. You're still running the cheapest breakers in the game, and like you're not. I don't know. I think your slot's just taken up. You could be using something so much better.
Nathan asks, what amazing combos have you guys figured out so far with the new Honor and Profit cards?
If you put a Future Perfect in your deck, it will not get stolen from you 66% of the time. That's a wicked combo.
That is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Only because I'm a Jinteki player all the time, and I do all that stuff too. So you can't trick a trickster.
I'll answer for Chase. He's really excited to use Data Dealer.
Thank you, Jason.
I don't know if it's much of a combo, but I'm really excited to pop some Caprices.
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't even lie, man. I know your combo. You are trying to work in Oracle May. You are super stoked for that. So why don't you talk about that for a bit?
Well, no, that's my secret regional.
Oh, that's your locked up deck box for the tournament. Is that what it is?
Hey, deck boxes are for 1 and 2s now, not just last.
I'm liking Planned Assault into Account Siphon. I do like that.
You know what? I'll give you this. I'll give you this here. I think that the Planned Assault thing, Account Siphon is like the worst card that Planned Assault can get. This is obviously a dicey conversation we're having right now, but I think that makes the toolbox event running really, really good, whereas before that was a terrible idea. You want to run 1 indexing, that card is so good, but 1 is so scattered, you can't do it. I played it forever in Gabe, and I ran 3. And guess what? In the beginning of the game, I got it, and then I scored agendas. If I ran 1, I would have saw it every other game, maybe, and it would have never been there when I wanted it to. Planned Assault allows me to do what I need to do best, and I love that about it. And I think that's the best part about this card. Account Siphon, it's overrated. It's a fantastic card. Don't be an idiot. Ice up your freaking HQ. Go ahead. And I do think it's that easy.
I make that same argument at Board Game Geek all the time.
Well, can't stop the board game geeks.
I think you're 100% right.
Can I get that on a T-shirt?
Yes. You know what? I promise you that'll be for sale on CorpDraw in 2 weeks.
Okay, so my favorite combo is what I like to do is spend 2 credits and push your luck and go all in. And then the next click, I like to push your luck again to all my winnings.
On the winnings! That's what I said! I'm so excited you said that.
There should be a follow-up card called Let It Ride.
You can play it for free if you already want to push your luck. If you play push your luck.
Yes, there you go.
Awesome.
We'll walk out with fat pockets and 50 credits.
My combo is I'm running Gabe and Desperado. I Account Siphon you for 13, push your luck for 13, and that's my 26.
In all honesty, are you guys running Push Your Luck? Because I haven't seen it, and I want to get like an honest opinion about it. I know. I think that's everybody's opinion on it, but nobody's doing it.
No, it's not.
Okay, Corp, you're not gonna do it, but
I'll give you the reality, Chase. I would be doing it if there wasn't a regionals this weekend. I just don't have enough experience to know, can I win the mind games that many times?
But that's actually one that you could randomly do. I don't know. I was reading somewhere, 50-50 odds is like, that's the best odds in the house, man. Better than blackjack.
Exactly. You're right, it's not bad. If it was a Psy style bidding, I would be all over that card.
Yeah. I think its main downside isn't the gamble. I think it's the fact that it costs 2. It should be free. It should be free and a gamble, because that's crazy. Or at least 1, at most 1.
No, there has to be some some downside to the big wins though.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't know about that. All right, that was my tangent question. We can move on. Drop my mic.
I love it.
To
Good
be
job,
serious,
Nathan.
I don't think there's. I haven't really thought of many combos that are too outside of the box here. I think everything just kind of worked together, unless you're doing some kind of crazy calling in favors and getting your connection dollars.
Oh, I can say one really good combo that's been working for Trent or TPS Viper if you're playing them online is House of Knives in Replicating Perfection. Because if you want to score or if you want to go for the remote server, you basically have to take 2 net damage off of the House of Knives.
Okay.
I wouldn't really put that in a combo category. Like a combo, you mean you're using more than 1 or 2 cards.
A combo is 2 cards. Replicating Perfection and House of Knives are 2 cards.
Yeah, but you're not comboing with your
ID.
with your ID. That's like you know
How
what
close?
the best card is?
How close
Is-
do I need to get
is-
for you to hear my...
So is the best combo anything that you play in the first few turns of Andy because you have 9 cards in your hand? I would.
Yes, you hit the nail on the head. Good job.
What are he eating over there? What does he got? What did he get?
I have nothing.
All right, let's take a look at the next question here.
Are you being fed?
Why not just run Brain Trust and clone retirements with Harmony Medtech? Also chase its Mushin No Shin. You've been pronouncing it wrong. I think we pretty much talked about enough Harmony Medtech stuff right now.
That'd only be 12 points. Oh, that'll be 9 points. Hey, Jameson, there's a question about the meta. Have you guys answered that one?
Which one? This?
The +5 from Alan Kennedy.
All right, let's get to that one next. I just clicked on this one. Mushin No Shin seems like the card that changed the Jinteki game in our meta. What do you guys think about it?
I don't use it. I don't know. I don't like the fact, I don't like the fact that you got 1 ice to protect the server that you're trying to bluff through.
You want to know what Mushin No Shin is good for? Winning a game against the same person for the rest of your life. Just keep that up. You get them the first time, they're gonna hate you, and they're gonna be so in their they're gonna be in their own mind, and they're gonna have no idea what to do right. Other than that, it's a pretty bad card, I think.
One of the other guys from the efficiency committee, Grant Huddleston, he was talking about using Mushin No Shin along with shipment from Miramorph. Since you have to install a new server, then you can shipment and install the ice over it.
I had that deck built, but the problem is it's a 40-card deck and you don't have a lot of ice, and doing that the first time and getting to match point is a flawless idea. But doing it reliably, you have to have so much draw power. I didn't think it was viable, but
I like the Mushin No Shin HB deck, where you run a Cerebral Overrider and Aggressive Secretary, and then you try to aggressively score a what's the 2 for 6? I can't think of what it's called.
Oh, mandatory upgrade.
Yeah.
That's what me and Trent were working on too. Yeah.
Where do you find time for daily living? Seems like you've always got the deck built. You're always working on whatever combo we're talking about.
You're talking to Chase?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You know what? I've been.
I'm ahead of the curve. I'm sorry, guys.
Apparently so.
Well, that's because he just sits there and thinks about them all day. That's all I do.
I think.
I don't actually follow through with any of it.
Yeah, look at this.
Look.
Look.
Talk to Trent.
This is my Honor and Profit. It's still in the wrapper. I haven't even opened it. I'm giving everyone tips and tricks.
You just play total metagame in your mind. Perfect. Yeah, I think the real use for that guy would be out of faction. I'd really like to see somebody come up with a good use there. I'm looking for the one you said about the meta.
It's at the top of my question list. It shows Alan Kennedy +6.
You can ask it.
Well,
Go on.
What's the difference? What's the difference in meta between bad publicity and CorpDraw areas?
That would be hard because we don't know each other's meta.
That's true.
Our meta is, I don't even know. Like, do we count our meta, Jameson? I guess you would be. I don't know why. Is our meta like our tournament setting meta, or just like us playing on Saturdays?
I'd say competitive.
It's
'Cause
diverse, man.
Yeah, our competitive setting is really, really hard to pin down. There is like nothing that gets played excessively, other than me constantly playing Replicating Perfection.
Yeah, it's very diverse. You know, when you have like, how many people showed up for a store championship? Like 70?
50.
You know, like
50 people showed up at the Toronto one, yeah.
That's a regional. Very diverse. I don't know what's going down there in the other ones. What Dallas Fort Worth? You guys said you guys are Jinteki lovers.
As far as Dallas Fort Worth, I would say we're pretty criminal and MBN heavy right now. We're starting to slowly move to Jinteki just because of the big box. But one thing I'll tell you that we do here, which I don't know about a lot of the metas, but we float the crap out of tags. No, we really do. I mean, Grant from Team Covenant, when he came down, well, he wasn't with Team Covenant, but he played a lot of their videos. When he came down, he moved to Texas, moved to our area here. He just couldn't believe how many tags we floated. He said that in one of our podcasts too. That's all we do. We float tags. Yeah,
so nobody's figured out to like
closed accounts. Sure, big deal. Okay, fine. We'll just, you'll get the money back. You know, it's just we float tags like you wouldn't believe in Dallas Fort Worth. San Antonio, where we're going for the regional in June. I really don't know how their meta is. But as far as Dallas Fort Worth, we float the crap out of
it. I like that.
Oh, and Jason,
is that something you'd be worried about coming into a meta that doesn't float tags? Like, say for instance, 3 or 4 of you came down to play, us down in Toronto. Like, would that worry you going in? Would you change your strategy going into a different meta, or would you just continue to do the same thing you're comfortable with?
I wouldn't mind scouting it out and just kind of see what changes I need to make. But honestly, a lot of us here are happy with 3 plastrates and just floating tags. And Donovan's talking to me on GroupMe right now, the other guy in our podcast. He's telling me there's basically a siphon in every deck. If it's Shaper, there's a siphon. If there's Anarch, it's a siphon. Fast advance everything, even Jinteki now. Glacier Ice is dead for Wayland, is what he just said. So yeah, it's pretty much criminal NBN heavy right now.
All right, Jesse asks, milling wins, gloriously awesome or a waste of time?
It's not a waste of time. It actually goes pretty fast if you run the DLR package. I don't even think that's a really terrible deck. I don't like it. I wouldn't play it, but it'll bite someone in the butt,
Yeah, it will.
I think I tried the Data Leak Reversal deck, and it's just too slow to start up. And
you think so, really?
Yeah. I guess maybe not just like having one out really early, and I wasn't trying to play that combo where I knew Angeles City Hall the tags away with Joshua B, because I think that's way too many cards.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get as many Data Leak Reversals and Fall Guys in as possible, and then vamp you to 0, and then spend just repeated turns vamping you, or not vamping you, milling you until you got rid of all my stuff. And I don't know, the deck was fun, but it wasn't. I don't think it's like really competitive personally.
Corpse, you're always trying to get your noise to work. What do you think about milling?
I think that milling is something that is nice to sprinkle on the side to make the Corp super worried about their archives. That's the way I view it. I think that just going for straight mill is janky. You know what I mean? Like, it's so like, you play 5-10 games, and it'll work like once or twice, you know what I mean? And that's pretty awesome. But most of the time, it's so much to try and set up to make it spring off that it's almost not worth it. I like it just sprinkled in there.
Completely agree with you.
Nathan asks, what cards do you think affect the game most seriously as it stood right before the release of Honor and Profit?
That's a loaded question. Our mind has been on Honor and Profit too much.
Yeah, I think it's pretty standard. Account Siphon, Scorched Earth, Sansan.
Asterisk. Yeah.
There's you had your staples there in your top decks. Here's one here. Do you guys think Oracle Mate is usable? possible with motivation, and now in Eureka, they're for good measure, or throw in a Eureka for good measure. I think Oracle Mate is usable. I think Oracle Mate is usable in criminal. You don't even need motivation. Just call it an event.
Yeah, I want to see that deck work where it's you know, you kind of just, you're using it to draw what you want to draw, almost. Like, I really wish I had a breaker right now. Let's see if it's a program, kind of, but I don't know if that's super competitive. But
No, I don't think
sounds fun.
I wouldn't pull the trigger on something like that, but I think calling an event in a criminal deck is a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can run the all event criminal deck with that. I think that's fine. I'm not sure that Oracle May, is that worth that card spot? I'm not sure, but I think that I guess it's viable. I mean, it's going to be one of those things that I think when it hits hard, and when it doesn't, you lose. Like, you lose clicks in time. You know,
someone will make the right deck for it.
It's consistent. It's not consistent.
I think Jameson's right. I think if you're building around Oracle May, then I think that's fine. Like, if you're planning on using, you know, your motivations and all that, then it's really gonna do a lot of work. But the problem that we were finding when we were trying to make that deck, Jameson, was trying to make all those pieces not be terrible, like, on their own, right?
But there was also a lot of convoluted. We can't even talk about that deck that was built because it was just too many pieces, too many wheels were spinning there.
It's kind of like DLR, right? It's the same thing. Like,
yeah, it's exactly like.
If you don't have them, it sucks.
Anybody else? Oracle May? Going.
Throw in Eureka for good measure.
Yeah.
Someone in this room likes Eureka, I'm told.
Eureka is awesome. The internet stories don't lie to you there. Believe everything you read about Eureka.
I tried it. I hate that card so much.
Well, you've already said you're anti-green, so.
It's true, I am.
Sean asks, do you feel that Honor and Profit has actually created any new viable deck archetypes, or do you feel it's just a couple small changes to the same old thing?
I don't think it's created a new archetype, but I think it has created the Jinteki Never Advanced deck with Tenon Institute. And I don't think that was possible before Tenon Institute came out. So,
well, obviously, because you can't build a deck around an idea.
I'm saying that Jinteki
Ice Wall wasn't good enough, and
Never
Advanced. And so forth.
No, I just don't think. I don't think Jinteki had the Never Advance aspect, and I think that now they can play it, if not better than the NBN Never Advance, but at least on par with it.
And it's different, right? Because NBN technically costs a little more, and you also are controlled by your opponent a little more. The one great thing about Tenon is, sure, yes, you get that control from your opponent because if they don't run, you don't get your whatever. But you don't get your advancement token. But Trick of Light's cheap. That's cheap and easy. And yes, I understand there's Sand and things like that. Shipment from is what I meant. But Sand City Grid's expensive. And to get that big first one, if it's not an Astro script, it's not that great to go spend $9 to go get a Beal out and play. I'm not a huge fan of that. Mm-hmm. If it's not an Astro script, it's really lackluster. And that's, I think, I almost feel like if they res a Sand against me, it's not an Astro script, I win most of those games. I'm not saying you have to get that. You have to get that to win. I'm just saying that investment's big, and Tenon doesn't have that. That investment's not very large. Archive Memories is free, Tenon's 1, or not Tenon, Trick is 1. Then you just go. It's just that easy.
Jason, I was thinking using my Tenon. It's still being tested right now, but I'm using Reclamation Order to get all those Trigger Lights back.
Or that too.
Do you like Reclamation Order more than Archive Memories?
I personally do.
Mm.
Just because I can grab all my Trigger Lights. It's like, okay, Trigger Light, grab all 3 of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Haven't you almost won the game? Didn't you just get 3 Trigger Lights? What did you play those 3 Trigger Lights on? That's the thing for me. Like, Archive Memories, I love it because it's 0, and you just play it, and it exists. It's one click. It's simple. It's clean.
Yeah, and when I already have one celebrity gift in the archives and I want that back, it's like, all right, I don't want to spend $1 and an extra click. It's semantics. I just wanted to know what you thought. I find that it's 50-50 with a lot of people. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, I want to pull back all of them. And then there's people like me and Jason that are like, no, I want what I want now, and I don't care how many copies I get.
Well, you guys are new best friends.
They're good in the CI deck where the CI just builds, HQ and R&D, and then they just.
Oh, CI is a different beast entirely when we're talking about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm talking about like out of faction.
Yeah. Hey, Corps, what do you think that they Honor and Profit brought to the criminal side?
To the criminals. Honestly, I haven't seen enough to say if it made a new archetype, but I think it definitely did bring some new tricks. And with the 3 breakers that attack centrals only, it allows you to be just a vicious, savage beast against the Corp. And that is something I think we're going to see more often now. Like, they just won't even bother with the remote. If they do, it's going to be the quest complete just to snag it. But I think just deep diving, getting those indexings on the go, and the notorieties, just ripping through their centrals is going to be a thing.
I love how we're talking about quests completed like it's a completely viable card now, whereas like, a month ago it was just the worst thing ever. It's like that's what I love about this game, the shift in like something that's technically bad and judged poorly by everybody else, just with one quick burst, immediately changes and becomes powerful. That's why I'm finding it so hard to rate cards now. It's like I find when I'm doing like the rating for Card Game DB, it's just like, yeah, that's a 3, that's a 3, that's a 3, that's a 3, because everything's good in my mind. I'm like, well, it might not be good now, but I know it's going to be good.
Hard at work will always be a 0.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there are always exceptions. Yes, you're right.
I really want to applaud this guy from Chicago picking up the victory because he took some really big risks and they paid off. I don't know if they're going to pay off forever. I don't know if Passport, triple central breaker, quest completed, notoriety combo, if that is a thing, if that's actually good. He could have also played against some bad players. He could have played against the best players. This could be the best deck of all time. But what I do know is I give him credit for going out there, trying 2 new things, and bringing it home.
You just saw his list before you saw mine. That's all.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Jamie did it first.
I'm kind of concerned about.
A lot of people. I mean, that concept was floating around when the spoilers existed.
No, that's our inside joke. We're not saying that he did it first. They always make fun of me saying that I came up with an idea first.
Well, that's the thing. Like, coming up with an actual idea and making it good, it's pretty rare. Someone's got to start somewhere, obviously.
So what about do you think that this is a viable deck then? You saying that this criminal deck that won regionals in Chicago, is it a thing?
I don't think we should take anything away from it.
Hey, hold on a second. I'll mute you.
Sorry.
Is it...
Do that?
Oh, I got power. Do you think that it was just a lot of people got hit with the newness so soon? They weren't prepared for it.
I think it's a combination of both. I'm not convinced that the 40-card deck out of the young lady, the young Rihanna, is going to be that much stronger than if it were Gabe and Andromeda. Andromeda starts with nearly the same amount of cards in her deck. She's got a link. She's got better options off the bat. Gabe's going to give you better economy. Yeah, he doesn't give you as much exposed. You have to use 5 more cards in your deck, but it's not that big of a deal. So I'm not sure that the runner was that impressive or that important. I might be wrong. I didn't playtest it. But I will also say it's a unique concept. I mean, when Quest Completed first came out, we compared it to Notoriety. So obviously being able to use them both in tandem can be strong.
Yeah, and sorry, go ahead, Chase.
I think it's exactly what you said. Oh, I think I'm getting messed up. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. I think it's exactly what Jason was saying. Like, hands down, the guy did it, and he deserves a ton of credit. Whether or not it came out of nowhere, but the thing is, how many times do you get quests completed before? Like it would have had to happen once, and then people would have figured it out. You know what I mean? So it's not like that surprise factor can only go on so much, and then especially if you're riding to the top of the charts. I know you're not supposed to talk about what other people are running at tournaments, but everybody does. And the fact that he's running a quest completed Rihanna deck is not going to stay secret. So I think everybody's going to know what to do, and I think it's a viable deck, and I think it's going to be very hard to play against. Cool. I know in my deck it would be. I think it would be a huge counter to my deck personally.
I worry about that deck being really poor. I know it's funny because everyone's like, it's got tons of economy. Whatnot. Those breakers aren't cheap, even though they're good, and they're in faction. They're not cheap, and she doesn't make money. You got to use the cards to make money, and if you can't get in, ugh.
The only one of those breakers I like is Passport.
Yeah.
Like
hasn't a nearly best option.
Yeah.
They're all good breakers.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
I disagree with that too.
What's that?
I disagree with that too. I don't think they're all good breakers.
I think they're actually terrible breakers. They're cheap to put into play, but they're super inefficient.
Agreed. That's the upside. They're cheap.
I don't think that they're inefficient because it depends on how efficient you are with your influence. Those cards might bring your deck to be better than it was before.
Yeah, I'm totally floored by the inefficient comment.
Have you read them? Like they are super inefficient.
Why not just run Aurora, Peacock, and Ninja?
Yeah.
Well, I think.
Hold on, young man.
You can hit all servers that way.
Into this.
So are you saying they're inefficient because they can't hit remotes, or are they inefficient?
I'm saying they're inefficient because they cost a lot to break the ice.
They do.
What I think they're good at is putting pressure early on, because it's like, okay, I just res this code gate. It's like, okay, well, I can drop a code gate breaker for free. You know what I mean? And now I could break through. You know, like my favorite ice right now is Yagura, and Passport just annihilates it. And it's the same reason why Inti just annihilated Wraparound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just so cheap, and it puts the pressure on really early. But I think that they're meant to just go, you know what? You can't hide behind your Sentry because I spent, 2 or 3 credits to put this into play, and now you can't start to advance behind it. And it's more of a scare tactic until you're ready to play your actual breakers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and say that I like Alias. Breach might be a little expensive. I think Alias as a Sentry breaker is really good.
No, they're all good. They, I think your math
right.
is totally off there, Chase, and some of them. I mean, if you're looking for on average, Breach breaks cheaper than Corroder.
Yeah, but.
But I'm using data suckers to bring its strength down anyway, so.
Okay, let's not get on the data
sucker. That's a different story. Because,
yeah.
Listen. So I revamped my criminal deck, and then when I put those 3 breakers in for the centrals, the first thing I took out was the data suckers, because they're not necessary anymore.
Wait. Stop the presses.
I don't know.
You are not running data sucker?
I'm not running data sucker.
Right now, like you were gonna. I'm gonna play you next time, and you're not gonna have data sucker.
It's economy card.
I am floored. Like I'm ready to just end this right now.
Okay, guys. Good night.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on away from that question then. We're gonna burn through a bunch of questions here just to wrap things up. I want to kind of peak this off at our midnight, so we got like 15 minutes left. Do you think Donut Tagonist is viable to really hit the Corp? 2 influence cost seems like a heavy price for me.
Nope.
Next.
Overkill on that influence cost. Yeah, definitely. Next question.
I think that the only viable thing is, unless you're actually, and I agree with both of you, unless your meta plays huge cerebral imaging. Because if they are playing cerebral imaging and they're playing that annoying score 7 points in 1 turn, I think having 1 donut, especially if you're running hostages, isn't a terrible idea. But that's hugely meta dependent in my opinion.
We were talking before about how Wayland is kind of slipped a bit. Blue Sun, the Wayland identity was spoiled. Do you think it can make assets more specifically off the grid playable? Can Wayland come back with it?
Yes.
Blue Sun is so retardedly good.
It's great.
Oh my god. Ah. I don't even know what else to say. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Sure. There you go.
Caleb, are you searching for Blue Sun right now?
Me? Oh, I am.
Blue Sun says that at the beginning of your turn, you can choose to bounce a rezzed card back to your hand.
Yeah. I just
It's
want to
the
check.
Wayland identity.
I mean,
One
Is
res
it-
card.
some people are talking about using oversight on the curtain wall for 14 credits. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's decent. I think it's gonna be a great idea. It's definitely be fun to play.
I
Yeah.
agree with the same. It's gonna be it's gonna open up a new style of play there.
And we're going to get to see Asset Economy Wayland, which is going to be really, like,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be awesome, but it's going to be really fun to play against.
So Chase, if I correct me if I'm wrong, so like I know it's hypothetical, but like I'm playing that ID. I have an Eve campaign out. I know she's a lot of influence or whatever. So she goes down to the last 2 credits. I can pop her then. Get 6 credits for her res cost, right?
Yep. Well, yeah,
I mean,
you have to do it. You have to do it before you take the last 2 off.
yeah. Okay.
But yeah, and then
Still.
you get and it's ridiculous. Even Adonis campaign is crazy.
Yeah, because a little bit cheaper influence too. So yeah, it's nuts.
Cool. Let's go to Tony's question here. I'm having a hard time adapting to the sudden change of taxing corporations. I've played against a lot of fast advance, and all of a sudden I'm paying so much more because of these new Jinteki ice. How do I manage my credits and runs going forward?
Katie Jones.
Count siphon.
Jameson Godzilla Breakers.
I'm pretty on board with all 3 of those answers.
I honestly don't know how you fight. Like I've been trying to find the chink in the armor, and I don't know.
Of what?
Of just taxing decks that are actually trying to just
Hold
tax
on,
the
though.
crap out of you.
You're the Anarch player. All these new really great taxing ice cap out at 3 strength. A Parasite is going to be incredibly valuable, in my opinion, right now, in the meta.
Yeah, I run Vamp to bounce through all those things.
How do you bounce through? How can you get through a Tsurugi?
You only run HQ. You only imp HQ ice, and then you vamp them down to nothing. Throw the rook on whatever server you want to run through.
Sure, that can work. But what if you can't get the vamp off the first one? Do you just lose?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. My deck's hard to explain.
I understand the concept. I don't think it's bad either. I'm just saying that it's just like,
deck is-
it's like, oh, I count siphon him and then I win the game. It's like, whoa. What happened to the run the
No. But I mean, like, especially in Anarchs, you have the keyhole, so it takes a lot of setup, and you're waiting for those burst moves. So especially with like a keyhole factor, where they have the huge taxing ice, and you know that they're trying to protect their R&D. So you just focus on HQ anyway, because you get to control their hand, because you're running their hand so aggressively, and
Sure.
then you res all of the pivotal ice around R&D, keeping them broke with rooks, and then it's just hard to stay above arena deck that's actually trying to not with a single card control you like a Count Siphon, but with almost every card in the deck is built to control your deck.
And just running controls their deck too.
Yeah.
Doesn't even need cards.
That's a loud type.
And I got this one. Pretty good.
What about okay, thoughts
Type
on
off.
thoughts on Susan?
I love Susan.
So
No.
good.
She's all right.
Who's Susan?
Susan,
The big beast.
It's a 9 cost, 7 string sentry. Once you hit it, you're now running on archives.
and you can't jack out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Susano no
Mikoto. It seems pretty good as she cues in your yard with some shocks.
I have one in my deck, just for if I get it, I throw it over the tower of ice that I have in my one remote server, because it's just a super taxing piece of ice.
Yeah. I poke a little bit of fun at it in the new what's it called, Card Game DB rating that we did. But basically, if you had it somewhere, it triggers off, they have to run an archives, then they run into, first thing is a whirlpool, they can't break that, then they run into a data mine or two, and then you got the Hokusai grid behind that, and then they hit the shocks that are inside your archives, or if you're playing the original Jinteki, then they take the agendas and you can flatline them out of that, but it's just so much work.
Yeah, I was going to say, how many extra turns did you get before they started playing?
So many, all of them.
I love it.
I do like the fact that, like, especially in a replicating perfection deck, when I like only having shocks as your archive kind of protection, and now this guy kind of adds that extra thing in because you can't jack out if there's no ice over R&D or archives. They have to access the shocks, so it kind of works in tandem like that. But I don't know, you have to want to run shocks.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think we're going to come to the end here for the question stuff, unless anything pops up. Just go through a bunch of them quickly here. Scott, I did read your post about the state of the game on Board Game Geek and Reddit. Very well written. I don't really see a lot of big changes in this game right now, though. With this box coming out, you're not really swaying a lot of people away from Criminal, and you're not going to sway them from their Desperados. That no console is better than that right now. Brandon from CorpDraw says he's a big fan of Grindel, so there is some Wayland love still floating on the boards.
He's been doing really well with Grendel.
What should I have for lunch? I'm not really sure, brother. Any recommendations there? Subway?
Thai food.
I'm a big pho fan myself.
Yeah, god damn it, I love. Yeah, we need to go on a date or something. You play Anarchs and.
Are you still running Plascrete? If not, what's your answer to the threat from meat damage? I think everyone's still running Plascrete. You don't see a deck without.
Moresh bodysuit.
I don't have Plascrete.
My decks have 42 cards and 3 Plascretes in them.
Yeah.
2 Plascretes, 1 Moresh.
The bodysuit, huh?
Yep.
How's it working out for you? Any quick comments on that? Reasons why? How's it?
Just real quick, just because when I float tags, if they private security force me, they're gonna burn a click, wasting a me damage is gonna get absorbed, and they can do 1 more. So in order to do at least 1 me damage, we have to click twice. So I just use it. Yeah, I just use it for tag loading.
Are you still seeing?
Yeah, but who's gonna just do 1 click? If they're gonna private security force you, they're gonna do it with like.
No, they're gonna spend 3, but they're only gonna do 2. So I mean that's fine. And the deck runs a levy. I mean, so it's just in case I can't get my Plascretes out in time.
I don't hate it. I love it.
Is Overmind a replacement for Crypsis? Probably yes.
Played correctly, yes.
Those are completely different cards, in my opinion.
Yeah. If you're gonna work around Overmind, yes, but Crypsis is just like you throw 2 of them in, and they're gonna do tons of work for you.
Yeah, Crypsis will get you through what you want to when you want to. It never goes away. You have to put some resources into it, whatever. Overmind is the powerhouse first turn throwdown, or early game throwdown that's going to get you where you need to go safely.
I'd rather have the Overmind.
I agree, but I wouldn't say it's a replacement.
Yeah, because you're built for the Overmind, right?
Pardon?
I run Worm.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Thank you guys for hosting this. You're pretty awesome, and thanks for addressing my questions. No problem, Scott. I don't know where this one was. Brandon says I'm as guilty as Jason.
Oh, it's about cussing. Brandon has a terrible mouth as well.
Yeah. We've kept it very clean. I'm very, very proud of you guys.
I don't think we swore at all. I think we did
this
really
guy
good.
here says the Susan is a dude. Combo Konami with House of Knives. Yes, that's it's a real thing.
Seems like that kills somebody.
Yeah. Jesse, for the Corp, how rich is too rich? I run Replicating Perfection deck that can generate a very ridiculous amounts of money in no time flat. I typically will click up to about 50 credits and then just dominate.
What is the runner doing during this time? What in the world is going on?
Yeah, that's a huge
can't
buffer.
You can't stop the Replicating Perfection money train. Once the sundews start going off,
No, I disagree.
It's pretty gross. You just have to start winning.
I don't know.
I don't think Sundews are going to generate 50 credits.
I do.
No, what in tandem with celebrity gifts? Like that's my favorite thing about
But you got to be
Sundews is
spending
after.
nothing.
He's clicking up to 50 credits though. Look at the way he wrote that.
Wait,
He's clicking up to 50
Oh.
credits.
okay,
No.
So I'm saying, what is the runner doing?
clicking is
I'm not
completely
saying.
different.
I don't think he means clicking. I think he means that he's spending his clicks, gaining money, doing good things with it, and it gets up to 50. I don't think that that's unheard of in RP. If you got all the money train and it's just not working for them, you have enough ice to make it not worth them running those things. Like you can toss like an Eli over a freaking Sundew. Like what do you do there? That's just
Ignore
so
it.
bad.
Yeah, that's true. It's
It's not a guarantee or anything, but it can happen.
Just put Ash in your deck if you're worried about not spending your money.
This just
That's
made
true.
my night better. 3 questions, and they all got answered. Do this more often. Thanks, man. Is Quest Completed notoriety the new blackmail?
No, I
I
think
would
it's still.
say yes if blackmail was anything ever, and that was it. Like it's just like neither of those are that. I mean, I think that's good, sure, but I think they're still all mediocre cards.
I agree.
Yeah, I think I would say yes. Quest Completed notoriety is the new blackmail, just because the breaker suites are out there to utilize it.
But I'm saying like, it was blackmail a thing for you guys?
Yes, Jameson ran it.
Well, sure, you can run it. Like obviously it's a thing.
No, he ran an Anarch deck that you couldn't get a beat on. Like it put pressure everywhere. It did exactly what it needed to do. It wasn't like that blackmail deck that everybody was trying to build that just like exploited the card, but it just put pressure on every aspect of your deck, and it was very, very difficult to deal with.
So
You just
why
avoided-
is
you
why is
avoided
it
the
not being
remotes like the
played
plague.
Sorry? There was 2 questions.
Yeah, I was gonna let him go.
Oh, sorry, I'll go ahead. But I just said he avoided the remotes like the plague until the point when it's like, okay, now boom. And then
Yeah, but he was
grab it.
using data leaks. He was winning the game, and then he was forcing your hand, and then he would score out. Which I don't think it would play any different. Like the deck that you played, Jamie, over the deck that Rihanna wants to play. Like I don't think it's that different. I think you want
No,
to
it's
keep.
not. I fully agree. I think everything you've said is spot on, especially about the part that I built a really good deck.
I knew that was coming.
And obviously, Caleb was totally wrong.
Like always, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just saying, my comment was that blackmail, while good, yes, you can build decks with it. Yes, it can be strong. To say it was the new, it's kind of like, I ran into a couple blackmail decks. They worked. That didn't mean I lost, and then we moved on.
Yeah, I think it's the new. It's the new, as in we actually have a way to use Quest Completed right now. So.
Oh my God, a person!
Yeah. Way to jump in the last 30 seconds of the
I didn't even
show.
know my camera was off the entire time.
Unbelievable.
Nicholas says, "Thanks a lot, guys. Amazing runner. Great knowledge gathering. Perfect." Jesse was explaining about his 50 credits. He was saying Sundew, Pad Campaign, Melange, his profit.
Wow, no kidding. I just
It's
wonder what the
ridiculous.
runner's
It's
doing.
ridiculous.
It's like,
Yeah.
what do they do? Are they not? I don't know. It's like, are they not challenging those assets or going after them or what? But, I mean, that's good. That's great. I love Jinteki, so that makes me happy.
Sometimes it is frustrating to go get those.
Yeah.
If you're worried about losing your Sundews, just put in interns. Like
Yeah.
3 interns does
Yeah, absolutely.
so much friggin' work. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
That card's good.
Mushin No Shin into a Grindel refinery.
Yeah, that happened to me. I didn't check it just because I wasn't going to fall into the snare trap, and yeah, it was crazy.
That's funny.
The last one is more of a.
Obvious truth.
The last one's more of a comment than a question. It just says, "Wow, Chase talks a lot."
Again, I thought I was doing good.
Thanks, Seth. That's a buddy of mine. plays out of Syracuse there. Met him when I was down at that store championship.
You're a funny guy, Seth.
P.S. Jameson, if you want to make an Exile deck work, talk to me sometime, Sean.
That's Sean from CorpDraw. He plays a lot of Exile.
I've seen that. I was following his Living in Exile.
Well, it's weird because I'm gonna yell at Sean a little bit because he has all these ideas in the Living in Exile, but his decks are never like that. Actually, I think they're generally better than the stuff that he talks about. So I find it interesting that, I mean, maybe he doesn't want to let the tech go, but I'll leave that to him. We'll see what he does in the future.
But in his latest ones, I haven't seen, like, when you play against him, how often is he using Exile's draw ability?
A lot. He just won the tournament this past weekend with it, and it's pretty good. He does, the way he used to play it, I think he used to take more out of it because he was never paying money for the cards that he was playing. So it's not like Kate would have been better there. Chaos Theory, he needs more cards. Professor's not good. And then, Code
Professor's not good?
I know.
Oh, we already touched on that, sorry.
But so literally Exile ends up being the best one for him. And it keeps his hand full, allows him to play cards out and replace them immediately. And I think he's done a really good job with it. So I'm not sure that it's always the best. I tell him that to his face. But he does do some really good stuff with it, better than anyone I've ever seen play it. So
I'm just pulling up his deck now, and
we'll make sure he posts his deck list from this weekend. He tried something new. Apparently, it went okay because he won. I wasn't there, unfortunately, but
I just didn't I'm looking over it, and to get reoccurrence, in this latest one, unless he was just trying to fit honor and profit cards in there, he's got test run, and I think that's about it to get a card back from the grave. Oh, self-modifying code, that wouldn't.
No, it doesn't get it from the grave. No,
I was going to say that wouldn't, because he doesn't have clone chips in there. And I was surprised to see an Exile deck not running a clone chip.
That probably, I don't know what that deck is. That deck probably is just bad. That's very possible.
Well, it was this one of how to fit the honor and profit cards into the Street Hawk.
Yeah, he's always like, look at my criminal deck, and it's Exile, and all of his influence is spent on criminal cards.
Those count siphons?
Exactly. It's like, look at my Anarch deck, Anarch Breakers, Exile.
Look at my innovative Anarch deck, 3 count siphons.
No, it's not that. I've heard you guys talking about that before.
Yeah, we were in your chat when we were talking about that.
So there's 2 Jinteki players here on the board, and let's go to this question here quick. How often do you guys change the traps in your deck?
I just recently took them all out, and I don't think I'll be putting them in.
So now are you worried now that you've just announced that?
No, I'm not worried. Can you beat me?
Yes.
Can you?
Yeah, you just said with that blackmail deck.
Oh, yeah, okay. I don't know if you won. Did you beat me with that deck? I don't know. That was a good deck, though. Are you going to play that again?
No.
You should.
It's retired. It went undefeated, and I hung its jersey up.
Yeah, I love when you do that. All this, it's like your big breaker deck. You took it to that one tournament, you don't play it anymore.
It's done. It served its purpose. Let it rest.
Wait till regionals comes. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll bust it out for Worlds, only at special occasions. Anybody else want to say how often do you switch up your decks so people don't know? Let's just make decks in general.
I don't run snares anymore in my Jinteki deck.
No snares in Jinteki?
No, just shocks, CQs, and yeah, I don't really like having to pay 4 to deal net damage to somebody for 3. Yeah, it's 3. I'm the first guy who likes to flatline people, but shock is just good. It's just I don't pay anything. You've got to pay 2 to trash it.
It's devastating early game.
I was real against it at first. Yeah, I was real against not putting snares anymore, but I tried it out, and I have not put snares in lately. So I'm sorry, Jason. Go ahead.
No, I don't hate that theory. I do agree it's expensive. So that's pretty much what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Let's end on this last question here from my buddy Seth. What regionals is everybody going to? And on your way out, you guys can drop all your podcast stuff. How can people find you and stay in touch with you? And if they've enjoyed seeing your lovely faces, where can they see it again?
Well, I guess I'll go first. I'm going to the Phoenix Regionals happening this weekend. If you're in the area, do come. It's going to be awesome. There's going to be a ton of people there. We have a really huge list already signed up, and the place that we're going to be playing at's fun, and it's around some good restaurants. We'll have some fun. I might be going to the California Regional as of recently. It's in Northern California a little bit, so it's a little farther to drive. It's not LA or San Diego, but it's still a possibility for me. And yeah, I guess we'll answer the question, and then we'll go on with the shoutouts. So go ahead, down. What about Dallas? Let's hear about Dallas.
Anyways, so we don't have a regional in Dallas-Fort Worth this year. We had one last year, but this year it's going to be in San Antonio. There's a lot of us who are going to San Antonio. We're also going to Team Covenant in Oklahoma, to Tulsa. So.
Very good.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sly, and I'm going to be playing in Toronto, I think, in June. And if you want to see more of me, you can follow me on Bad Publicity.
Oh, we're doing the shoutouts now. Okay.
I was going to let it go through the regionals because that way it's kind of it's less choppy.
Oh, I'm playing in Toronto.
Sweet.
Yeah, we don't have another one, right?
We have Toronto got 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna play in Toronto twice.
Good. And if you want to find them out, just go to CorpDraw. I don't think they put the Canadian ones up there. They're biased right now or something.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, maybe it was just happened today.
Yeah, props on that, dude. Really good job on that. On the
event locator.
Yeah, really good job.
You know, I'm gonna give that a shout out before I give CorpDraw a shout out because that is a really great resource. We've gotten a lot of emails from people saying thank you. You know, I travel. This is really great. So on and so forth. Let's see here. There's Montreal. You're right. I don't see that. That's interesting. Where? Oh, there's Toronto. Wait for it.
Is it there?
No, I don't see it.
Jason, does Broken Egg Games fund you guys or support you guys?
They do. Yeah. Yes, they do. What's up?
I'm thinking about checking out. I've been using the Minion Games tokens for my game. I've been thinking about checking those out. So I see you guys use them a lot.
Yeah, the Broken Egg Game stuff is just really, really convenient, and everyone's like, "Oh, I played against it once. I didn't necessarily like it." It's just like playing a game for the new time, or for the first time. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different, but when you can color code, picture code, and have a large enough field and show how many credits you have, it's so fantastic. And I'm a big dice user. I love dice. However, I have had the dice fall over, and then that was the last time I'm going to get in that argument with anybody.
Yeah.
Broken Games tokens are just super, super big. You know, the token sets are cool. I know they're coming out with some really fun new tokens in a wave 2 soon, they told me, but it's really great. And I've tried everything else. You know, I've tried the Team Covenant ones. They're pretty neat, but they just kind of replaced the set that you got for free that's cardboard. Like, I don't need more circles, you know? I needed something different. And also, they're really thematic, and they look pretty sweet, so I like them.
Perfect. I guess Corpse, do you want to talk for a bit?
No, I'm good. Chase said everything ever the whole time. So
next time, Corpse is actually going to be hosting the show, so I'm really excited for that. Thanks a lot for offering.
Hey, no problem.
As this is my show as well. As I've been dictating.
Yeah, so you guys can catch us up in Toronto with the regionals. Seth just dropped the dates here. July 12th in Montreal, 28th in Toronto. I'm on the bubble if I might go to Philadelphia, to tell you the truth. It depends how Toronto works out. But
you always burn yourself out.
In the sense of playing too many games.
Yeah, you do a lot of regionals. Like,
you can tell that Sly doesn't burn himself out because he's laying down the entire time in this video.
Yeah, all while he's traveling, and I'm just like sprawled out on my bed.
Yeah, he's got that. Isn't that little store championship Wotan there in the back? Look at that. He has that right over his shoulder.
When,
Look at that.
Right there. Boom. That's product placement. It's almost like if I was going to be like
Did you
Hey.
put that there for this video though? Specifically?
Sponsor us. No, that's where it sits.
Jason's walking in, guys.
Right there.
You gotta put up the cred.
Well, I was gonna say, just for you guys' sake, I really appreciate Bad Pub having me on today. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, it's a great group of people to talk with. I'll do it anytime, and I enjoyed the concept, and I think it went pretty well. I think next time we'll get more people, and in the future, you guys will get tons of people doing this. So I
We'll
really...
definitely advertise a little more than 2 hours before.
Sure.
So.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Jameson.
Yo, man.
I was gonna let you know, expand on what Jason was saying, but I don't know if any of you guys are part of the Facebook group Netrunner Geeks.
I am. I love
Okay.
that site.
Okay, I'm admin on that page, and by all means, broadcast your. I don't know if you guys posted on there or not, but post it on there. We post our videos on there. I mean, we post our stuff when we're doing podcasts too on there. Go for it. There's 1,000
man.
people in the group so far, so I mean that'll it'll hit 1,000 people at least. So
Very cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. My brain works very strangely. I think of like 7 ideas all at the same time, and then only really execute 2 or 3 of them. So, thanks a bunch, guys. Really appreciate you guys taking the time and joining us. As always, my co-host there, looking suave, Sly Squid and Corpse More.
I like the angled corpse one. Next time, if I'm on this,
I got 2 screens going on. I'm seeing you guys on that one, so that's what I'm looking at, and then my camera's on my typey one.
It's because we made fun of his headphones and he really wanted to display them the whole show to really show them off.
He gets money from those. He's sponsored.
Sponsorship. Ching.
Perfect. So I think we're kind of just dragging things out now. So let's just give it a wrap. Thanks a bunch, guys.
Thanks a lot. Goodbye.
Good luck in the regionals.
Thanks.